Hey guys, today I'm gonna talk about React. For this tutorial, I prepared a structure. So I'm gonna start by talking about React, giving you some quick facts and telling you a bit of history. Then we're gonna go ahead and show you how to integrate React in your website. Then I'm gonna move on to show you how you can practice online, even if you can't set up a development environment on your computer. Then we're gonna try to set up the development environment on your computer if you want to do so. So let's get started. Okay, so a few facts about React. React is also known as React.js. Okay, has been developed by a Facebook employee and released publicly in 2013. It's open source. It's supported by a huge community. It's light and fast. You shouldn't worry too much about the learning curve. As personally, I started learning React last year, and within 2 months, I already knew most of the concepts about React and moved to more advanced stuff. Okay, it's very popular and in demand on the market. There is an estimation saying that there are more than 1 million websites built with React. There's also React Native, which is a version of React that allows you to do mobile development. It can work with Android, iOS, universal Windows apps, and so on. Some of the most popular websites or apps developed with React are Airbnb, BBC, Dropbox, Facebook, Instagram, Imgur, Netflix, PayPal, Reddit, Tesla, Uber, Venmo, WhatsApp. Most likely you've heard more than one of these names. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how you can implement React in your website. So I have some sources in here. Probably you will like to read about this, and I will add everything that it's open right now in my tabs so that you can access them from my video description. If you want to read more about React, then go ahead and feel free. I'm gonna close this. Okay. This is just the React documentation telling you how you can integrate React in your website by using the content delivery network. Okay. So I'm just gonna copy paste this, but basically it's for you to see that it's very easy to integrate. So you don't need to see what I'm doing here, but I'm just proving you that it can be done. Okay. I haven't prepared any example for this, but a lot of people don't like reading, so I'm just gonna do this really quick. Actually, I'm gonna create a new folder. Okay, I'll just call it React HTML dev. Okay, and I'm just gonna create a new file. Actually, I'm gonna open Notepad, and I'm just gonna go ahead and copy this code. We have a page index.html. I'll give you a short explanation of what's happening there. Yeah. Now, React HTML dev. Okay. So I'm creating index HTML file. So will be all files, and I'm gonna add the extension. So I'm gonna save it like that. Yeah. If we see, it's an HTML file. Yeah. Then I'm gonna go ahead and create a new window. I'm gonna close this one because it's done. Just gonna paste the like button JS. Okay. So Control C, Control V. Okay, save this, all files, and I'm gonna write a JS file. So like button.js. Yeah, very simple. There you go. Okay, and now I can just drop it in the browser, and you'll see it works as normal. The like button is the actual React component. So if I click on it, it's gonna change to this, and we're gonna look at the code a little bit. I prefer using Visual Studio Code for code editing. I'm gonna show you how to install this a bit later on. So I'm just gonna open the folder that I just created, React HTML dev, select folder. So in what's happening here in index.html file, I have added the content delivery network links. So these links, okay, they are based on React 16, which is currently the latest version. And in here, we're importing the React component. So I'm gonna open like button.js, and in here we can see we have a class and then an element that's using React create element instead of document create element, and then we have the React component class that has been extended by like button class. Hopefully you know JavaScript, so this means that like button is inheriting from React component, and this is how we know where the element that we're creating is gonna be imported inside the index.html file. So if we look back to index.html, you can see there's a div with the ID like button, okay? And in here in like button.js, we can see we're looking for that element, okay? We use query selected, and then we're trying to render using React DOM inside that div element. So this is it. You can make changes to this code if you want to, but this should be enough. So you can see how you can use React in your website. But this involves good knowledge of JavaScript, this kind of implementation. Okay. So I'm gonna close this window. We're done with this. Right, guys. So this is kind of the way the structure looks like with React. So for this purpose, I've created a component called component as well. And I'm gonna show you how you can add this kind of file inside your main application. So you can pause this video and just copy the code from here. Basically what I'm doing, if you're familiar with JavaScript, I'm using a class called component, which inherits the properties of React component class, and then I'm exporting this as the default module for this file. So this module is gonna have the following HTML that you can see in here, and I'm gonna import it inside the app.js file, which is the main file that will run everything from our application. Okay, I'm just gonna do import component. It doesn't matter what you write here. You can call it basic. I'll just call it like this from and now I'm gonna mention the path, which will be dot / and the name of the component I'm importing, just so you know you don't need to put .js. Okay, and then the way we're adding the component inside the HTML of app is the following way. We just need to pretend like we're using HTML tags, same way like input, so that is like a self-closing tag. Okay, so we can put basic in here, and if we're closing the tag, you will see now whatever HTML we had in component is showing up here. Okay, so it's just a button. We're gonna repeat the same process when we're gonna take the local development and make some changes there. Okay, for local development, you're gonna have to install Node.js. The current latest version that is stable as well is 12.6.1. This is the version that I'm using, and I recommend you'll be using the same. You just need to download it and follow the default installation process. Together with Node.js comes npm, which is a Node package manager that helps you out when you have to handle the packages that you need to install for different applications that you're gonna build. Okay, so together with the Node.js installation, from npm you can make use of one of the tools that comes inside there, which is called npx. And if we look at the online documentation, we'll need to run this in order to create a new app that will be built as a React development environment. So if you run this command on your computer, it will create a directory called my app. As you can see in the end here, you can name it whatever you want, but I don't think you're allowed to write capital letters, okay, no uppercase. And then you're gonna need to go inside that directory, open a command line tool, and run it, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and so for me, default React app has been done this way. You open command line tool, okay, command line interface. It can be anything you want. You can do, for example, command prompt, your own Windows, or you can do PowerShell. If you hold Shift and press right click, you can see there's a open PowerShell window here option. Okay, I'm gonna run the command that I just said, npx create react app. This command basically will create a default project for React, same way I've done here with default React app. Okay, so it's installing packages and so on. Once this installation has been done, you can go inside that directory. You can open another PowerShell window, and you can run it by doing npm start, and you can hit enter, and the development server is gonna start running and will open your default browser. And this is our default application. This is what you should be seeing. So we're gonna edit this screen so that we do a similar application to what we had when we started working it online. But before doing that, I'm gonna show you how to quickly install Visual Studio Code. If you don't want to see that, you can skip this part of the tutorial and jump to the end. Okay, so very simple to install Visual Studio Code. You just go to Visual Studio Code website and you click download depending on your system. I'm just gonna choose Windows. File has been downloaded. Okay, you just need to accept the license. I just tick all the boxes, and from here we're just installing. Now it's launching, and I'm gonna open the app by going to new file, open folder. Just gonna navigate to the app that I want to open. For example, new app, select folder, and there you go. We are in the right place. As you can see, you have some shortcuts available here. If you click Ctrl plus backtick, a terminal is gonna show up. You might have a different terminal than me. You can change the default shell by clicking on select default shell, and it will show you all your options. You can use command prompt, for example, and you need to open a new terminal. And now I'm in command prompt, and I will run npm start, but not before closing the other terminal that I had running, as you cannot have more than one instances running on the same port. So once I click on this, it's gonna start. Okay, so we're back to the same screen, and now we're gonna make some changes so that we can see the same thing that we've seen in the online tutorial for React. Okay, so what we need to do, open source folder, and then we need to create a new component, a new file, component.js. I have some snippets that I'm gonna use. You can install Visual Studio Code extensions so that you can simplify the code writing process. So I'm gonna import React from React. Okay. And I'm gonna call this component one comp. For now, this part from here is not necessary. And I'm gonna put some HTML in here. I'm gonna call it this. I am a new component. So we have React.component. Okay, and we're gonna import this inside the app.js file. So we're gonna get rid of the other stuff. And I'm gonna import this file in here. Also, it's very important to keep capital letters for components. Thing that I didn't do. So I'm just gonna edit this to component with capital letter, so that the compiler knows that I'm referring to a React component and not an HTML component. Okay, it's not an HTML tag. So I'm just gonna go back to the terminal, and once you click save, it React updates automatically. So as you can see, I have the new component I have created. This is it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully you understood how to set up React on your computer or how to work online with it. Thanks for watching.